let me illustrate the rule of 5 for you. It's a beautiful, simple illustration, but it really works. If I have a tree in my backyard and I want to cut the tree down, and I have an axe, so I've got the instrument to cut the tree down. But if I got a tree, I want to cut it down. The rule of 5 says if I go pick up the axe and I go to that tree, and 5 times I swing the axe and hit that tree, and then I put the axe down, and the next day I go out, pick up the same axe, go to the very same tree, and 5 times I swing that axe, hit that tree, put the axe down. Next day, go out, pick up the axe, go to the very same tree, 5 times, swing the axe, put the axe down. Next day, go out, backyard, pick up the axe, go to the very same tree, 5 times, hit the tree, put the axe down. Next day, go out, grab the axe, go to the very same tree, 5 times, put the axe down. If I do that every day, let me ask you a very simple question. Eventually, let me ask you a question. What will happen to that tree? Eventually that tree will fall. It's a fact. We don't need to debate it. Everybody in this room understands that if you take that axe 5 times, same tree, every day, that tree will eventually fall. Now, if it's a big tree, it may take 2 or 3 years, 5 years. If it's a little tree, it may only, maybe a couple of months and you knock it down. I'm not talking about how long it takes to knock it down. That isn't my issue. The issue is if you go and you've got an axe and you go to the same tree every day, and 5 times you take 5 swings at that axe, and with that axe at that tree every day, that tree will eventually fall. That's the illustration of the rule of 5. Now, what I'm saying to you is that's a simple illustration. Everybody's got that in their mind now. But it really works if your tree, you gotta figure out what your tree is going to be. In fact, the rule of 5 teaches 5. It teaches, let me just tell you what the rule of 5 teaches you real quickly. The rule of 5 is all about, first of all, intentionality. It's all about intentionality because it asks the question, what do you want to accomplish? Well, what you want to accomplish is you want to cut the tree down. Are you with me? You're very intentional. That's why you go out every day, cut the tree down, cut the tree down, cut the tree, 5 swings, cut the tree down. You're very intentional. You know exactly what you're doing. So it's all about intentionality. And basically, there is no rule of 5 if you're not intentional. There's no such thing as an unintentional rule of 5. So you got to go cut the tree down. That's what you're going out there. That's why you pick up the axe. That's why you do it every day. That's why you spend 5 times. You're very intentional. The rule of 5 teaches, secondly, not only about intentionality, it teaches all about being practical. Because if you say, I've got to cut the tree down, well, the question is, well, how are you going to accomplish that? How are you going to accomplish that? You're going to accomplish it with an axe. In other words, it's all about not only knowing what you want to accomplish, being intentional, it's all about getting the right tool to accomplish it. A lot of people, they know what they want to accomplish, but they don't have the right tool. For example, if I take a baseball bat, and I go out to that tree every day, and I take 5 swings with that baseball bat, and I hit that, hey, every bit as much effort, every bit as much time. But I'm doing it with a baseball bat instead of an axe. If I'm doing it with a baseball bat, that tree ain't going to fall down. But I'm putting in time, I'm putting in effort, I'm sure sincere. So when you think of what your dream is, when you think of what you want to accomplish in your life, and what's the big thing? What's the tree in your life? The first thing you do as soon as you get the dream, the first thing you ask yourself is what's my resource? What's my tool? What am I going to do to accomplish that? So it's all about intentionality. It's all about being practical. You got to have an axe. Baseball bat ain't going to do it. The third thing the rule of 5 teaches us is about focus. And the issue is one tree. Did you notice that? You don't pick up the axe and go outside and you take an axe and you swing 5 times at a tree, and you put the axe down. The next day you go out and say, wow, there's another tree in my yard, and you go over and swing 5 times at that tree, and the next day you go to another tree and swing 5 times. Now you're still putting forth the same amount of energy, and you're still putting forth the same amount of effort, but guess what? You're not going to ever chop the tree down. You aren't staying focused. You're doing too many trees. In fact, when you're done, you're not going to have any trees chopped down. You're just going to have a bunch of scarred trees. I know a lot of people, that's exactly their life right there. They can't stay focused. They can't stay on the one thing. It's not one thing for them, it's 6 things. It's 11 things. Oh my gosh, well, it's a new thing. Oh, well, there's a new thing going now. Give me that. I got to work on this new thing right over here. And they never get accomplished what they want to accomplish because they haven't focused. The rule of 5 is all about action. It's all about effort. You have to go swing. You don't go out to the tree and say, tree, fall down. You got to put some effort. You got to put some energy. It takes action. It's all about, number 5, the rule of 5, it teaches us about consistency. We've already talked about that non-sexy word, but it's all about consistency. Did you notice that there was a key here? Every day. Every day you take the axe 5 times. Now, and what's really amazing about it's amazing is this. It was 5 times. It wasn't 50 times. It wasn't 500 times. It wasn't that you're doing this all day. In fact, what makes the rule of 5 work when you understand it correctly is it doesn't demand all of your time, but it does demand you to do it every day. Well, that's huge. That's just big time stuff right there. In other words, you don't have to put in 10 hours a day on this, but you have to put in time every day on this. In fact, the rule of 5 basically says you're better to do 5 swings with an axe every day than do 50 swings one day, and then no swings for another month. And it basically says you got to stay on task. And the rule of 5, what makes it so wonderful, it makes it so beautiful to teach, is that rule of 5 just doesn't demand everything, but it does demand that you pay attention to every day. That's why I call it, the rule of 5 is all about what I call the everyday essentials. So, if I was helping you with your business, in fact, we do this. One of my companies, John Maxwell Company, does consulting. We do consulting for Microsoft. So the Fortune 100 companies. We do consulting for network marketing companies. We do consulting. And one of the first things we do with them is we sit down and say, we need to establish a rule of 5. What's the rule of 5 for your organization? What are the 5 things that you need to do every day? What are the essentials that you need to do every day to be successful in this business? That's the question. And those things must be tangible. Hey, you take the axe and you swing at the tree. At the end of the day, you don't look at a person and say, well, did you take the axe and swing at the tree? A person will say, well, I'm not sure. Well, you know whether you got the axe or not. You know whether you swung the tree or not. It's got to be very simple. It's got to be very tangible. It's got to be very achievable. It's got to be very reachable. It's got to be very compatible with what you're doing. It has to fit. Now, for example, when people ask me about writing, they say, how could you write that many books? I probably average between 3 and 4 books a year. I write more books in a year than some people read in a year. And when they ask me how many I write books, they're looking for star power. They're looking for something amazing. It's kind of like I just say, well, to be honest with you, I just kind of get my paper out and I wave a wand. Word stardust begins to form. No, I can write my books. Get my 4-color pen, my legal pad, and I write 1 word at a time. Line upon line. That's how I write my books. Well, then they say, okay, my gosh. Then how do you pull that off? Oh, the rule of 5. You see, my tree is writing books. That's not your tree. You got to get your own tree. What's your tree? One of the things you want to do is you got to, what's my tree? What's the thing I want to accomplish in my life? My tree is writing books. Okay? So I have a rule of 5 for writing. And this is so stinking simple. You just got to, you do understand now, everything I tell you, there's nothing complicated what I tell you. I am a communicator, not an educator. An educator, now I'm in education. but I'm not educated. Trust me. An educator takes something simple and makes it complicated. That's the nature of the beast. If you're in the education world, you've got long sentences. I mean, their whole job is to keep you confused. If you're not confused, so an educator takes something simple and makes it complicated. A communicator takes something complicated and makes it simple. And everything I do is simple. My name's John. It's a simple name, one syllable. You can do that. Okay? Everything's simple. And my rule of 5, I'm going to give you my rule of 5 right now for writing. And this rule of 5 is the secret of all the, quote, genius that people want to acquire to me. I mean, it just cracks me up. I laugh at, I just every day am laughing because of what people think. I mean, I say, dear God, you've been to Disneyland for too long. Here's my rule of 5. Every day I read, every day I think, every day I file, every day I ask questions, every day I write. Every day I read, every day I think, every day I file, every day I ask questions, every day I write. Every day I read, every day I think, every day I file, every day I ask questions, every day I write. Every day I read, every day I think, every day I file, every day I ask questions, every day I write. Every day I read, every day I think, every day I file, every day I ask questions, every day I write. Every day I read, every day I think, every day I file, every day I ask questions, every day I write. Every day I read, every day I think, every day I file, every day I ask questions, every day I write. Yeah, I just keep doing it every day. You're right. You just kind of, if we did it, we'd just keep on climbing because I never stop. And people look at me, and I know this is what I was saying. Well, okay, John, what do you mean by every day? I mean, I'm breaking it down for you, folks. Hey, I'm putting the cookies on the lower shelf. Everyone gets one. Are you with me? I mean, they're not high. You don't need a step ladder. The cookies are on the lower shelf. I mean, how simple is this? Every day. And they'll say, do you do that on Christmas? Every Christmas, I read, file, think, ask questions, write. Your birthday? Every birthday, I read, think, file, ask questions, write. When you're on vacation, guess what I do when I'm on vacation? Every day I'm on vacation. I read, think, file, ask questions, write. Well, what about when you're sick? When I'm sick, I read, think, file, ask questions, write. I, for 51 years, have been filing. Every day. I don't have hundreds of quotes, thousands of quotes. I have tens of thousands of quotes and tens of thousands of illustrations and tens of thousands of stories. It's not because I'm brilliant. There's nothing brilliant about me. I'm consistent. You do something every day for 51 years and see how stinking good you are.